Oh yeah, it's weird. Everybody, now you can see us. I just want to say this is weird. Welcome back to Thrillers by the Book Club podcast. I'm Chelsea.
I'm Olivia. We are so excited to be talking to you today about thrillers. And for those of our listeners who are listening on the podcast, if you want to see our amazing faces, go over to YouTube because we have a YouTube channel now.
And we all assume you want to see us. That's why
Of
we're
course.
doing this. Because you're like, what do you look like? Which one of you is which? Like,
It's true.
What are your mannerisms? Where are you staring at when? Where are you looking? You know what I mean?
I mean, also, could we not look more like both white girls with long brown hair and brown eyes?
It's the absolutely like quintessential murder podcast. Just white, bland. You know us.
Yeah. That's us.
So yeah, we're trying something new this season, which is going to be fun. So we're still, obviously this is the podcast, but it has video. It has, I guess that's it.
That's it. That's
okay.
That's really the main thing.
Right.
But so we have been gone for a little while, and we're so excited to be back. What have you been up to?
Thinking to yourself, why have you been gone so long? And let me tell you, no, the people out there are thinking. I mean, you know why we've been gone.
Why are you asking me?
You're adoring fans, and like the 4 people who messaged us on Instagram are like,
Thank you for messaging us.
Actually, some people really have been really like sweet about it and have messaged us like, oh, I like really miss it. And so, yes, we've been taking a hiatus. Officially personal life issues. Unofficially, I mean, as you all know, I had a baby. And that, as you could probably hear in the last season, she screamed a ton during the episodes because she was a straight up newborn baby. And like, it was the reason we didn't have video also is because I was like holding her and like rocking her and nursing her as I was recording, and she would just be in the mic like, and I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna mute it. That's hard. It's super hard to have a baby and a podcast.
Yeah.
And also now I'm a single mom because getting divorced.
Yay.
Which is a whole story. Not that mad about it. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, I was, but now I'm over it because it is what it is. But that's also hard because again, I only have 2 hands, and each baby you need at least 2 hands. And so that's the allotment. You need more.
You only have 1 baby, 2 hands. That's all. Right. Like that's the amount.
If you have twins, I don't know
how people do it. Oh my gosh.
More hands. 4 hands, at least.
Yeah, at least.
So I had no free time for podcasting because I had to just wallow in self-pity and hold my baby and cry. So, but now I'm over it.
You needed some time. You needed some space to settle down. I also did, because during that same time, I was trying to like figure out what am I doing with my life, moving my mom. I've moved my mom now. She lives like a quarter of a mile from my house. I get to see her every couple of days. And then, and then I wrote my second book. So
yeah, you did.
Good use of our time.
Oh my, okay. Yes. So tell us all the book things that you've been doing. Cause you're like a book person. Like you started with like I'm going to like slightly touch the book world. And now you're like,
no, books. Like this is full time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so like I said, I wrote my second book. I'm in the middle of revising it right now, and then I will start querying again, which means trying to get an agent. So I'm hoping to do that in the like January timeframe. So we'll see where we get there. And then I had a business, and I still have a business called the Publishing PM, where I've been doing like virtual assistant work for authors. So sometimes helping with social media, sometimes it's helping with like getting launch parties set up, things like that. So kind of a little bit all over the place there. But I've kind of like done some soul searching and come to the conclusion. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm starting in December, is training to become a book coach. Ooh. And that means that I will be able to help people who are like me that want to write books, be able to get their book finished, be able to have another set of eyes, be that like along with them cheerleader, which are things that I know that I would have loved to have had more of writing, like going through this process. And I did find a lot of support, but it feels like it's a little bit more hands-on. So I'm really excited about that. And I did that after I went to a writing retreat called
Oh my goodness. Is
Shadows
this
and Secret?
Like murdery, like ooh one? Okay.
Yes.
We went to Salem,
Massachusetts. The week before October, before last week of September. So it was like just starting like their Halloween stuff.
Yes.
And so it was really fun. And we stayed at the Hawthorne Hotel, which is the most haunted, supposed to be the most haunted hotel.
Was it? Huh? Was it?
Some people said they experienced different things. The only thing I experienced was like my room got super, super cold, just like for a few minutes.
So
and then,
bad insulation. Okay, great.
yeah, so bad insulation, right? So that was what it was.
Very haunted. Okay.
People said they heard knocking, and I'm like, I bet you that the employees just go around and knock on shit.
It's just like a pipe, and they like throw a rock in it, and it's like clank, 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 clank. Yeah. Okay, great. Great.
Yeah. So anyway, so that was that. So after doing that, and it was like working in a small group, I really recommend it if you want to write mystery thrillers. If you wanted to check out the Shadows and Secrets website, they're doing a retreat again next September in Salem. Totally worth it. But it definitely changed my perspective. I was like, okay, no, I think that this would be really fun and something I want to do. So
that's cool.
Yeah. Now I'm all books all the time.
All books. Yes, because you're done your other job. You're just a book person.
Just a book person. Yes.
I love that for you.
Thank you. Yeah. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. No, that's great. So besides that, have you been doing anything else in our break?
So anything else? No. I mean, like literally all I did was write.
No, yes.
Now that's it.
News.
Oh my God. Yes, I totally forgot about that.
Yes.
Oh my God. Okay, so the weekend before.
Like, look it. If that taught me anything, it's that anyone could easily rob me and murder me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I hope your doors are locked.
No,
like,
they're not.
Sure your doors are locked.
They're not.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you need to do that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So here's what happened. So the weekend before Halloween, my husband goes out of town to our hometown to go hang out with some friends. And he was like really on the fence about going. And I was like, you haven't seen them in like 15 years. Go hang out with them, whatever. And I was like, yeah, I have the night home alone. So I'm like, I fell asleep on the couch watching some show, whatever it was. And then I hear like, I wake up and it's pitch dark out and I'm just like banging on my back door. My back door is a sliding glass door and it's directly like behind my couch. So it's very close. So it's a bang, bang, bang. And I hear this guy like, help, my brother needs help. Let me in. And I was like, oh,
absolutely, I will.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely fucking not. I will.
I will not. Okay, I'm already opening the door.
What did you say? You would open the door? This is the problem. Yeah, don't open the door.
First response is like, okay.
That's how they get you. So it's a whole ruse that's been being used right now as they do this, so they get people doing it. So here's the deal. The guy had to jump into my backyard in order to get to that sliding, like over a fence, over a big wall.
Why didn't you just go to the front door?
This is because it wasn't real.
Well, yeah.
So he's like banging on the window and he's like, let me in. And then I get up and I kind of grab my phone. And he's like, ma'am, let me in. And he's like trying, he's pulling the glass door, like pulling it, and it's locked. And I was like, no. So I go over to where the door is. The lights are off in the backyard. So it wasn't even like I had a light to see him. I go over, turn the light on. I'm like face to face with the guy. And I call 911 and I was like, I'll call 911, but I'm not letting you in. And then he sees me. My dog is like freaking the fuck out. And then basically chased him away. And then I heard another person over on the other side of the house, like jump over on the other side of the fence. Whoops. So yeah, like, I mean, it was a legit going to be a home invasion situation. And so called 911. I was like on the phone with them. They were here within a couple of minutes. They looked around. And so I'm home by myself. And I'm thinking, okay, well, I don't want to stay here because I'm by myself. What if they come back? Right? Like they saw I'm alone. So I have this like big carving knife where I'm like standing, I'm booking a hotel, like freaking out. And we are gun owners specifically for a situation like this. And my husband took the gun shooting for the weekend. So I was like, we have this. We don't even have it in the house for when I'm supposed to have it. I was like, oh God. Okay. Well, so yeah, I stayed the night at a hotel. And then my husband came back the next day and everything was fine. It just was, yeah. But there was blood left on my window, on my sliding glass window. There was like actually like blood. I don't know what it was from. I don't know if the dude's brother was truly hurt or not. I'm assuming
it's like not even a scam. It was just like a guy whose brother was.
Why? But here's the thing. Then the police got here and they drove around and they didn't see him.
Yeah, that's weird.
And they came from different directions. So if he was out there, they would have seen him. And they were like,
no,
I know. They told me you did the right thing. Don't let people in because it's a ruse. They expect you to just be like, oh my God, you need help. Let me open the door.
I would, yeah. I would. When
Yep.
you told me that, I was like, yeah, of course. I would be like, yeah, let me help you.
Yeah.
What a-
I watched a true crime for that. So I was like,
you made the right decision. Like, that's terrifying.
it was really scary. I was pretty shook up then. But I think I was just kind of like, okay, like I just did the whole thing really calm. And then afterwards I was like, holy crap. Like that could have. I was saved from a glass door. Like if he wanted to get in, the doggy door is right underneath it. He could have climbed right in. There, it's big enough for a person. So I don't know. It was just that was crazy. Anyway,
I hate
that
that
was my
for
fun.
you. Hate it. Hate that. That's terrifying.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm happy
did you love it?
that you were smart.
Thanks. Thanks. I stayed sexy. I didn't get murdered, and I felt real, real good about it.
Yeah. Said, take that, crime doers.
Yeah. So anyway,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, that was pretty. That was such a crazy
Yeah,
moment.
that really is. Well, I'm happy you're okay.
Thanks. Me too. Have you been reading anything great over these last couple of months?
Yeah. I've been
Okay.
reading so many great things. And we'll talk about it later because now we have a whole season of a podcast. You know what I mean? Like, it's not
I'm so
important.
excited.
But I will tell you, have you seen on Netflix, Sweet Bobby?
Not yet. Isn't it like it's about catfishing, right?
Yes, and it's not what you think.
Okay.
It is. It's so good. It is so good.
It's based off a podcast, right? That tells this story. They made a show off
based
the
on the podcast. But I didn't know that when I first started watching it. I was just like, oh, it's just there on Netflix or wherever it's on, and it looks interesting. It was insane.
Okay.
Like, highly recommend. I would love to talk about it at some point because, yeah, it's crazy. And anyone who hasn't seen it should watch it immediately because it is. There's a lot going on. It's not just like a normal catfish like situation that you think about.
Okay. Well, that's good to know because I was like, catfishing, like, I don't know how much, like, I'm interested in that. But okay, you've convinced
Not
me.
the catfish that you think, the story that you think it's going to be. I'll just say.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will like to switch a little bit. I did watch Traders and
USA?
I've watched USA, UK, some of New Zealand.
Australia.
I haven't watched Australia yet.
Okay.
So I'm spacing it out.
Traders is good.
This is 100% like I love the show. I'm absolutely obsessed with it.
As
it
you should
is
be.
like such a good study in diabolical manipulation.
Yes.
And I was like, I am just wrapped. And I was like, I want to learn how to make characters do this. Like, so good.
It's so good.
But my gripe, why do we have to have stupid celebrities?
I know.
Normal people. Like, that's what makes the UK and the other ones.
I know.
So good.
I know.
So good.
I know. It is annoying. Like, I think that they did that so people would watch it. Like, they think it's going to make people more interested. But I actually think that normal people make it more interesting, personally. Or even a mix. Like,
well, season 1 had a mix. And I felt so sad for those poor people at the end of season 1. They were not playing the same game that everybody else was playing. They were like, oh, we're sweet love and harmony. And I was like, oh, honey, you have no idea what game you're playing.
Like, the celebrities is fun because they're all the same level. They all understand competition. Yeah. But it would be interesting. And I do like the other countries' version because it's like normal people. And oh my goodness, it's so good.
It's so good.
Yeah, you have to watch the Australian version too. It's so good.
All right. I will make that like my little treat for this week.
Yeah.
Start watching.
Oh my goodness, I love the Traders. I can't wait for season 4.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. I'm
so excited.
I'm patiently waiting for season 4.
I thought I saw like a preview or like it's coming soon or something like that.
I hope so.
I saw something about it recently. That's why I was thinking about it.
I've been watching Love is Blind.
Okay.
The new season of Love is Blind, which was juicy this season, I will say.
Okay.
It was juicy. It was like they cast a lot of like really good people.
Yeah.
As in like they made it far, but you're like, what? Like, ew. Like I don't know. There's one guy who they get engaged and they're just super happy and trying to make it work, and then he starts like DMing this random girl on Instagram that he's supposedly never talked to before. Like, what kinks are you into? And I'm like, you just got engaged on national television. Like, you can't control yourself for a little bit, buddy.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's like weird stuff like that. So, watch that one. Let's see what else. Um, oh, what's it called? It's like set on, you make like a fake profile, and it's kind of like where you're sort of catfishing. Let me look it up.
Is it a reality like dating show?
It's a reality show. It's not a dating show though. It's like a reality. It's like a game reality show.
Okay. Yeah.
I
Like,
guess.
yeah, I get
The
it. Like,
Anonymous. That's what it's called.
It's what?
It's called The Anonymous.
Okay.
So it's like a bunch of people come and they meet in real life, but they also have an online profile, anonymous profile.
Okay.
And on the profile, they're like, so they're all trying to like essentially catfish each other. Sort of.
Okay.
But while in real life, they're all being themselves and like trying to win money. But then they're also voting people out. It's like kind of like a social experiment type game. But it was pretty good. There's only one season so far, but I've been watching The Anonymous, and that was good.
Okay. I kind of get like a little not in spirit, but like Gossip Girly, like where one of the characters has like this anonymous thing. Is that what the idea is? Like, in the causing drama?
But they're all anonymous.
Oh, but they're all anonymous. And
so they're all like, in real life, and they're all anonymous. And then they go on and like talk about each other and themselves to try to trick people. And then you try to match profile. Yep. So you say like, oh, I think this person is this person. And anyway, it was pretty good.
Cool. What's
so I was watching that. I've been watching a lot of shows. There's like no shows left for me to watch. So
no shows. You finished Only Murders in the Building?
I did. Finished Only Murders. I liked the meta part of this season. The way that it's like, you watch the season, right?
I've seen 2 episodes of this season, but I'm caught up except for the rest of the season. I haven't seen everything.
Okay.
I saw, because I know that character dies. Spoiler. I mean, she's like there for like I don't even know when she like shows up. So I was like, what?
Let's wait for you to finish.
Great. Great. Okay, great. Can't wait. But here's the thing. So I was like, I started watching a little bit of season 2, and then I was like, no, I'm gonna wait for the whole thing to come out. So I watched all of 2 and then all of 3. I'd waited that long, and I didn't know it was in season 4. Right. So it kept going, and then I was like,
I hate when it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the worst. I just want to get through it all. Sorry that happened to you.
Yeah. Well, excited. Anyway, I'm excited to see it. It'll be great. Great.
Yeah, no, it's good. There's still more to come.
Yeah.
That's what I'll say. Okay. So, pub day?
Yes. Okay. So I'm gonna do it a little bit differently. We're trying a new setup here, and I'm in a studio. But by studio, I mean my closet.
So, your closet is very nicely decorated.
Thank you. I've set up a little like area, but the rest of it is just close. And
it doesn't look like a closet.
Oh, good. Okay, great. So I'm going to be reading from my iPad because I don't have another screen anymore.
Sure.
All right. Okay. So today is Tuesday, December 3rd. And I'm so excited. Oh, also just like side note, I have been so out of it. I had no idea what books were coming. I don't know. It's like I've been so out of
it. Same. You're not the only.
This is like nice to be back into it.
Yeah.
Okay, so first up today, December 3rd, is called The Close-Up by Pip Drysdale from Gallery Books. When Zoe Weiss moves to Los Angeles to pursue her dream of becoming a writer, her whole future is wide open. But then Zach, the bartender and aspiring actor she's falling for, ghosts her. Her debut novel, a thriller, fails. And she has writer's block worse than ever before. Now, 3 years later, Zach is famous and Zoe is not. She's facing her 30th birthday, a dead-end job at a flower shop, and a demanding agent, terrified she'll never get her life back on track. But when she goes to make a flower delivery and Zach is at the address, it's like no time has passed at all. They start casually dating in secret, her writer's block disappears, and Zoe begins to wonder, Zach inspired her first novel, why can't he inspire her second? But then the inevitable happens and photos are leaked, landing Zoe in the press. Her first novel goes viral, and now everyone seems to know her name, except the problem with everyone knowing your name is that everyone knows your name, including the mysterious stalker obsessed with Zach, a stalker who begins reenacting violent events from Zoe's book step by step against her. Okay, that's called The Close-Up. Oh, yeah, I like that. I'm into like the somebody killing based upon a book.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
A trope I love. Okay, the next one is called Buried Road. It is by Katie Tallow from Harper Paperback. When the love of her life disappeared on a camping trip, Gus Monet was devastated. Her daughter was only 9 at the time, but young Bly still remembers the heartbreak vividly. However, Howard had been like a father to her. He was a journalist working on a story that took a dark and dangerous turn. The last time they saw him, he was going to meet a source he believed could blow the story wide open. 3 years later, shocked to see Howard's obituary in the paper, Gus and Bly are drawn back to Prince Edward County, where he was last seen and where the camper Howard was driving has been found. Sneaking into the camper, mother and daughter find what investigators missed. Hidden behind a secret panel are Howard's notebook, cell phone, and a video message recorded right before he vanished, evidence that turns the cold case red hot. Searching for answers, Gus and Bly vow to follow the story Howard was pursuing to expose whoever went to deadly lengths to stop him from revealing the truth. I like the cover of this one. It's like got like purpley trees and like a road.
Ooh.
It's actually like the cover's like pretty interesting.
So investigators didn't find a secret panel, but yet.
Yeah, that she did. We don't love this.
Well, I mean, like, I guess.
Okay.
Oh, look, they found the secret panel, and now the investigation is open again, even though it's literally the police's one job.
Okay. Echo by Tracy Clark from Thomas and Mercer. Hardwick House, home to Belverton's College exclusive Minotaur Society, is no stranger to tragedy, and when a body turns up in the field next to the mansion, the scene looks chillingly familiar. Chicago PD sends hard-nosed detective Harry Foster to investigate. The victim is Bryce Collier, a wealthy Belverton student whose billionaire father Sebastian owns Hardwick and ranks as a major school benefactor. Sebastian also has ties to the mansion's notorious past, when 30 years ago, hazing led to a student's death in the very same field. Could the deaths be connected? With no suspects or leads, Harry and her partner, Detective Vera Lee, have had to dig deep to find answers. No charges were ever filed in the first case, and this time, Harry's determined the killer must pay. But still grieving her former partner's death, Harry must contend with a shadowy figure called the Voice and their dangerous game of cat and mouse that could threaten everything.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
Yeah.
That sounds
Yep.
very interesting to me.
I like it.
All right. So last one here is called The Party. It's by Natasha Preston. It's YA. And it's in the heart of the English countryside. Bessie and her closest friends gather at a remote castle for a secret party, destined to make this the best spring break ever. But then the first of them dies. When the first of them dies, the party takes a lethal turn. As the body count continues to rise, Bessie and her friends must contend with a deadly storm and growing internal suspicion, all while trapped inside with a killer. I love that. Like, I could just read that locked room trope all day.
Same. I just got that one, and I'm going to be reading it.
Nice.
For sure.
Nice.
For sure.
Yeah.
I love Natasha Preston's books because they're like so quick. Like you can read them in like 2 hours or 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And they're always like the fun tropes that, you know, like a locked room mystery, just like super quick. Like
you she have one at an amusement park too.
Yeah.
I
they're
like
really
that.
fun.
That's cool. So yeah, that is what is out today. Congratulations, authors and listeners, watchers. Hey, hope you found something new to pick up this week.
Yay! Well, I'm going to show you which book that I'm reading. For all you listeners, let me just show you really quickly what book I'm going to be talking about this week. I'm going to show you. Here it is. Oh, can you believe? Let's look for the lie. Yay, by Amy Tintera. Love that for us.
Yes.
So, yeah, I'm still going to say it, obviously. This book came out on March 5, and she wrote young adult books previously, but this is her first adult thriller, I believe. At least as far as I know. I think, right? Her first
think
adult.
you're right.
The rest were all young adult.
Yeah, I think that's correct.
And I don't know any of them, but this one, okay. So it's about Lucy. She's a girl who was found wandering on the side of the road. She's covered in her best friend Savvy's blood. And of course, everyone thinks that she killed Savvy, but she does not remember it. And Lucy escapes her small town. She goes to LA, but now, classic, there is a true crime podcast doing a season on Savvy. As you know,
as you do.
It happens.
But there's so many of that. It's like, that's legit. That could be that could happen.
It happens.
Yeah.
Ben, the host, is trying to find out what happened. So Lucy goes home to try to solve the murder herself. Even though technically she could be the one who did it because she doesn't remember. She has no idea. So the setting is in, I love this, Plumpton, Texas. So plump, so small, so adorable. Texas. And the characters are Lucy, who's the main character. She's the girl who can't remember anything about Savvy, her best friend's murder. Savvy, Savannah. Classic. The girl that everyone's like, she lights up a room. You know, one of those.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No. Here's the thing. I'm just going to like side note that. If my friends ever say that, I'm like, no, that means I'm doing my job wrong, first of all. Second of all, no, because that means I'm going to get murdered.
That's right.
Like, no.
Right. You want to drag down a room.
She was a giant bitch. Nobody messed with her.
Ruins every room. Hate it.
Ruins it all.
Hate it here. Ben is the true crime podcaster, and then there's Lucy's grandmother, Beverly, who's very feisty. So I loved that this book was actually a podcast book.
Yeah.
Like a lot of thrillers are advertised as a podcast thriller, and then they're not. I hate it when it's like, oh, this is a podcast element just to advertise a book that way, and then it's not really about it. So this one really, really
was. Or
it's
just like has that one, like maybe one little bit, or there's like an underlining. Yeah.
And they're like, the hit podcast, blah, blah, blah. And then it's like barely about it. This one really was about it. And it was really well done, which I really liked. And the podcast was called Listen for the Lie. It was really about Ben's journey to find out what happened to Savvy. And there was dual narratives, which kept me interested the entire time. I thought Lucy was a really good main character. She was really sarcastic. She was really witty. I loved Grandma Beverly. She wasn't in the book enough, actually. I wish she was in the book more because she was a lot of fun. I didn't really like any of the other characters, but it was kind of like one of those things where it's fun to dislike them. And then I thought the author did a really good job of capturing the feeling of a small town really well. I thought it was really good. The trigger warnings in this book are murder, mental health issues, infidelity, domestic violence, but I rated it 4.5 stars. And books that were similar to this one were The Night Swim by Megan Goldin, because of that podcast element, If I Disappear by Eliza Jane Brazier, and None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. So check it out.
Good. That was a good one. It's funny, as you're talking about it, I looked it up on Goodreads because I was like, I'm sure I've read this one. And I have. But I didn't remember anything about it. Other than I agree with you, the small town aspect was magnificent, is what I wrote down. So
yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It's fine. It was good.
It's fine.
Good one.
Okay, cool. So the book I'm going to be talking about today is The Hitchcock Hotel by Stephanie Wrobel. Oh my God. I loved this book. And it's all, the reason I love it is vibes. It's just vibes all the way through.
Yeah.
And it's so fantastic. Okay, so this is a locked room suspense. I would definitely not call this a thriller. Much more suspense, which makes sense because it's about Alfred Hitchcock. The synopsis is that Alfred Smedel is not your average Hitchcock fan. He is the founder, owner, and manager of the Hitchcock Hotel, a sprawling Victorian house in the White Mountains dedicated to the master of suspense. There, Alfred offers his guests round-the-clock film screenings, movie props, and memorabilia in every room, plus an aviary with 50 crows. To celebrate the hotel's first anniversary, he invites his former best friends from his college film club for a reunion. He hasn't spoken to any of them in 16 years, not after what happened. But who better than them to appreciate Alfred's creation and to help him finish it? After all, no Hitchcock set is complete without a body. Yeah. Okay. So I had so much fun with this, and it's very much that classic college reunion locked room trope. That is like, that's what you're getting.
Yep.
What I liked about it, the characters were all really fleshed out. They all had deep secrets that they wanted to keep hidden. The relationships were really tense and believable. I really loved learning about Hitchcock throughout the whole book.
Yeah.
There were things I didn't know. I also didn't know how many movies he made. These are all things that were like information I learned. And even more so, I learned about his wife, who actually was like a big influence and stuff. So I had no idea about that. Again, this book was all vibes for me. Probably my favorite of the year because I enjoyed the experience so much. Like the end, I wouldn't say there was like a surprise twist. I was like, okay, I read Locked Room Mysteries. I got what was going on. But the experience is so fantastic.
Yeah.
I read it on audio. Highly recommend it. Trigger warning is murder. Other than that, I don't recall. 5 stars. Similar books would be any Hitchcock film, which is not a book, but if you want to watch some Hitchcock movies. And if you like the college reunion aspect, In My Dreams, I Hold a Knife is one. And there's like there's a million college reunion books you could find out there.
So. For me, this book, the Hitchcock Hotel, felt like an episode of Scooby-Doo.
It did,
right?
Yeah.
Like a super fun episode of Scooby-Doo where they're all in like an old creepy house and things keep happening and it's kind of like almost like hijinks, but like because even though it is all about Hitchcock, it's not that dark. Like
it's really not that dark.
It's not a very dark book. It wasn't very scary. It was kind of just like the creak on the stairs vibe, where you're just like, oh, it's like eerie, but there's nothing scary going on. And so for me, it's just like it felt like a hint of scary, but not really. Like
that's what I mean. Stephanie Wrobel hit the suspense.
Yeah,
like I mean, it's suspense, exactly what it is, and she hit the nail on the head. And I think it's just really fascinating because it's just enough to make it where it's uncomfortable, but it's not scary, but it is suspenseful. I mean, I don't know how much she had to study Alfred Hitchcock to pull that off, but I felt
probably
like
a lot.
I would hope that he would be like, I'm proud of this book because it's so good. Yeah.
Well, thank you to everybody for joining us on our first video episode. Unless you're listening, then it's just a normal episode. And also thank you.
Yes.
If you want to reach out to us, you can and should. You should message us on Instagram on Thrillers by the Book Club Pod. If you want to. You don't have to, but again, you should. You can message me at Thriller Book Babe.
Or me at Olivia Day Wallace. And I hope you guys enjoyed the show today. And don't forget, if you need to kill some time,
read a thriller. You want me to say it? Oh, okay. Read a thriller. Oh, sorry. You should read a thriller. It's just casual. Yes, do that.
Just casually read it. If you have some time, you need to like take up.
Read a thriller. Goodbye.